Hey everybody, it's Fun here once again. Hope you're doing well. Today I'm rambling about the happy nerding Super Sawtor. It sounds like this. Okay, I better start rambling about this one before I make you listen to a pure Super Saw all day, because I kind of want to do that myself. Anyway, I just need to get the quick housekeeping out of the way first. I'm not affiliated with Happy Nerding. They didn't send this to me. It's not sponsored or anything like that. I purchased it new locally here in Vancouver today from our dealer, and I'm not a journalist. I'm not here to present it to you, assess it for you, sell it to you, anything like that. I just want to create my video blog of sorts and share my experiences in hardware, Eurorack synthesizers, and everything else. If you're here, you've probably been here for some of the 100 other videos I've made, so I will standardize the disclaimer at some point, but not today. Super Sawtor. The little bit of background on this one and my relationship with it, as if I have a relationship with it, but where I was thinking, the ALM MCO Mark II has a emulator for the Roland JP8080 or 8000, and I wasn't familiar with that synth very much, other than way back like a decade ago, one of my friends was suggesting that it would be a good polysynth versus the mini log that I was looking at the time, because they were a similar price, and I was like, oh, I don't want the old Roland, I want the mini log. Anyway, that was a big mistake on my part. However, mini log is awesome, but that's not what this video is about. The emulation on the MCO I was absolutely in love with, and when it comes to like loving complex waveforms, I don't think I quite pinned down that I am a just huge Super Saw enjoyer until trying the emulator on the MCO Mark II for the JP8000. So anyway, that's where I was started. So I started looking at JP8000. It's pretty, it's not as crazy as other Roland machines, obviously, but like it's pretty expensive, and there's no boutique version of it. And anyway, you know how these rabbit holes go with those sort of things. And I was looking, like, I don't know why Super Saws can be a little hard to come across in Eurorack for some reason. But then I was looking through, how it goes, the Mod Wiggler threads, the other, I don't know, Reddit posts, the everything else, the asking people in the group chat and what have you about it. And nobody seemed to really have much to say other than just stick to the MCO Mark II, which is, obviously a good piece of advice. However, I looked up Super Saw in the store in some sort of online shop, and the Super Sawtor came up, and there's a couple versions of it. I just want to say that this is the one for Eurorack, and there is also the big panel, the it's not 3U. There's a word for it. The big Noise Engineering also makes ones for that format, that crazy big format of modular. But anyway, this is the Eurorack version. It is 4HP. I thought this was a digital chorus effect, but it is an analog effect that attempts to produce unison saw waves. And I just want to play it. Let's play it. And no filter whatsoever. It's quite hot, so I will try and not lose my voice in the mix here. But let's go with the panel. Super simple. We'll do it in reverse order for the reason of bringing the mix in first. So there's mix. And it is analog, and it's kind of like a chorus effect, but it's supposed to produce super saws and unison. So bring in the mix. You just see it getting louder without any spread. But now if we bring in our spread, let's start at a 50-50 mix, so create super saws, and it just goes. And I'm over the moon with that. It's silly that a triangle wave, not a triangle, a saw, can make me this happy. Here's the pure. If we reverse it, this is out of the mind phaser, by the way. It's an analog VCO, if that matters. But I adore the sound of a super saw. And this is where it's at. So breaking the mix, let's run through the spread a little bit. Make it a hair louder. And as you crank up the spread knob, it'll actually get into like gross inharmonic territory. Although when you pitch it up, it doesn't seem to be as rough. Go down an octave or two. But really, mix all the way up. Go back to the unreversed saw. That looks like that. Go down an octave. That already sounds pretty fat, but we'll bring it in here, mix in. You can really see that saw wave, even without the spread. Once you get that spread going, it does seem reminiscent of a chorus effect, right? And I love it. It's supposed to be based off of the JP 8000 or the 8080, and I thought that was a digital synthesizer, a virtual analog type of thing. And this is an analog module. And honestly, the specifics of it are a little fuzzy because I just want you to hear that. I know, I can already hear the YouTube comments being like, I'm unimpressed, but I am over the moon with this sound. I'm bringing a little bit of mix, and I find you don't want to get too crazy with the spread or it gets really inharmonic in the lower end, but and I also think you get more spread by mixing it in less, if that makes sense, because I think the fundamental is missing it fully mixed, and I could be wrong. But if you just listen, it just sounds more spread with a little of the dry mixed in. Anyway, I love that. I'll show a little bit of modulation of the, let's do the bottom actually, and then you can see the, so CV for the spread. You can, so if you don't want to filter, there's usually the frequency modulation. You can send it either positive or negative, and it's pleasantly indicated by the LEDs on here. But you can send it neither or send it positive. So do you want more spread? Less spread. So if you crank your spread and then use modulation to send it down, I don't know if I'd even use this, to be totally honest. It's cool, but I'm just using a cycling envelope to show you. It does add a little bit of extra sauce. But again, I'm listening to one note unsequenced on this thing. Sounds amazing. So that's with a saw wave. If we try a square, I'm going to show you some other things with it. Misconceptions I had with it. I thought you could throw anything at this and it would just work like a chorus effect, but it doesn't quite work that way. And I think it's because there's some sort of like, you know, wave folders, how if you send it a super complex waveform and then try and fold that, it can't get more complex. I think there's something like that going on because if I send it a triangle, oh, that sounds cool. That's working. Dry. Spread. So triangle works. It's not that different from a saw, but if we do sine, This sign works too. Okay, well, yeah, just gonna eat my own shoe. Square. Square doesn't work, I don't think. No. No? What is happening on my square wave? Okay, square wave. Bring in the mix. This was the one that doesn't work. Yeah. There's some weird blipping going on in the oscilloscope. But it actually makes it a little quieter. And if you know the science as to why this is a thing, you let me know. Here's another example. Let's take the output of... Yeah, here's a good example. Take the output of the ensemble oscillator, and yes, there's a video coming soon. But it... So if you bypass it, there's something weird going on with this. Anyway, I don't want to dictate too much time over to... Oh, here we go. Yeah, I don't want to dictate too much time to it. I just want to say that my original thought with getting this too was like, oh, I can't wait to try to run the mind phaser through it, or wavetable oscillators, but here's what a wavetable oscillator sounds like. Take out my envelope. It just doesn't work. And I don't know why that is, but that's okay. We're here for the super saws, right? It is the Sawtor. Let's throw that saw in. Super. Anyway, this is what I'm here for. And now the next thing I want to do is plop this into the steady state gate, and then send it a sequence, and then I'll send y'all off. And if we can find cables long enough, of course. Where's Phrygian? Minor, dominant, major, Phrygian, minor, Phrygian, D. Why not? Throw in some kickaroonies. And then we have a sequence on our hands. So I don't know what kind of person has desire to make like rave tracks on Eurorack, but I do, and I don't know why. There are genuinely some of us who are in the rack because we don't know any better, and that includes me. I love how this sounds so much. I just feel like I don't know. Like, oscillators can't be this simple, right? It's not allowed. It's against the law. Right? You need a crazy complex oscillator and a sample and hold module or something. It's not allowed to be this easy. There's hundreds of wavetable oscillators that can do this. There's hundreds of oscillators with super saw modes, but I don't know. This is my path to it. And I did have I'm really happy with this actually. Is that silly? Put a little reverb on there. Dare we even add a snare? I know, it's crazy to think about, right? Check, it's alright. There we go. There we go, bringing our kicks. And now we're back to our saw. I did have the Acid Rain Technologies Super Saw, but I didn't get along with it. I don't know. The poly implementation was too tough for me, and where I didn't have any sequencer to drive that 3 separate CV gates thing, and it just didn't sound quite as thick as this does. So if you like super saws, definitely check this one out. Because man, now I'm almost like, could you run more in series? Probably not. Could you run them parallel? Probably not. But it's not allowed to be this fun, this easy. I wonder if you put a chorus on this. I don't actually have a chorus module at the moment, but you hearing this? I know, there's a huge section of y'all who are just saying, like, who cares? But I cares. Let's saturate a bit. I honestly, this is like one of the favorite sounds I've ever pulled out of the rack. Is that sad? Get it down here. Man, steady state gate sounds so good. It can't be this easy. It's not allowed. So just for fun, here's the dry. Try reversing the saw for fun. It makes it a ramp wave, not a saw. Mix it in. Yeah, it's funny. The saw wave itself isn't actually all that different, right? The pure versus the saw. Oh, a little bit, yeah. If we spread. Yes. Anyway, I'm over the moon with that. One last time. Here's dry. Go down an octave. Okay, let's go down less than an octave. Bring in our mix. So here we start with our saw wave. Super saw. And then detune. Spread. And I'm so here for that. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.